Hi, my name is Aimee Smith and I'm the voice actor of Mera in Cosmic Dawn.
The meaning of what? Have you no respect for your queen?
You might also maybe know me from games and characters like Freya in Mobile Legends Bang Bang, Wilmy in Arknights, and Mila in Freedom Planet. What I think is really cool is that when I work in animation, typically it's normally in kids media. So I can really appreciate that she's a more mature, serious character that I don't typically get to play in this medium. So I think that that was a really cool challenge. I'm the queen of nothing. Obviously not said like that, but that line. Oh, sure. The surprise was very much the very next scene. Look, Meera and her daughter clearly didn't have a great relationship. So my question would have been more on the positive side in order to kind of help bridge that relationship, which is, what is one thing that you like about your daughter? I'm breaking the rules here because characters and voice actors generally should be loyal to each other, but I will say I did really like the voice of the narrator. Bit of a weird one, I know. This is always a really hard question. I've worked on over 250 video games at this point, and then I do animation and I do anime dubs, and then I work on mediums all between those. So at this point in time, I've definitely worked on over 1,000 characters. So it's hard to choose, but I think my answer out of pure loyalty forever will probably be Mila from Freedom Planet, because she's representative of so much. She's representative of my trip to the US, my first lot of fan art. I named my dog after her. Yeah, pretty wild. So I might need to say that one out of pure loyalty. This might be a bit cringe, but there's a character I voiced in this animation show. It's a dub, all with Australian voices, which is very cool. It's called Friend Space, and I was the voice of Shelley, and she goes, "Let's fly." And so it's something I say all the time. Instead of like, "Let's go," I'll go, "Let's fly." Oh, for sure. So there was an audio book that I was recording in Sydney studio. So these are 4-hour session blocks every single day. So I worked on it for 1 week, and then I feel like it must have been the Thursday night where I had a session for a Warhammer 40k game. And it was just the two together having to do long form narration and then having to do, some sprint voice acting with screams and gutturals destroyed me. So I felt awful, but I had a session on the Friday and I was like, "I'm so sorry, can I cancel it and we'll start afresh?" Because I hadn't finished the audiobook. I had to go in on Monday and obviously finish it then. So thankfully it doesn't happen often. We kind of schedule our time accordingly, but yeah, there's absolutely been some frustrating times where it's happened. There are a huge amount of parallels between us and athletes. So it's really helpful to kind of think of us as vocal athletes. So in the same way that athletes need to warm up, we should be doing that as well. So something that I like to do are vocal trills, which go like this. And it always looks really funny when I record it. Staying hydrated is obviously really, really important too. And ensuring you're not pushing yourself if you can feel some strain coming on. So there are a huge amount of similarities, and I think it's really helpful to see yourself in that same light. I am way too indecisive a person to answer that one. I will say my favorite movie of last year was Wicked, though. 100%. I loved that. I saw it 3 times in the cinemas. My favorite voice actor for a range of different reasons is Kira Buckland. Not only because she's an incredible performer, having worked on things like Castle Crashers, I know it's a bit of a blast from the past, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and Danganronpa, which is one of my personal favorites. But I also really admire the way that she had fostered a voiceover community that previously hadn't really existed in the online space, and in particular, really pushed forward the remote voice acting opportunities, which I really appreciate, because I can say with almost 100% certainty that if places like the Voice Acting Club had not existed, I do not think I would be doing this today. So a big thank you to Kira for basically paving the way for so many of us. Yes, so if you're based in Australia, I have a very busy October. So the first thing, I'll be in Melbourne for a while, and I'll be running a workshop with Voices of Tomorrow. So be sure to pop that in Google, Voices of Tomorrow, and I will be running my presentation, 3 things I do that benefits my full-time business, and you should too. So if you're interested in voice acting and leveling up, be sure to come along to that. Right afterwards, I'll be a part of the whole PAX weekend. So I'll be doing 2 different panels yet to be announced, but just keep an eye on my socials if you'll be there during that time, because it's going to be a lot of fun. Then right after Melbourne International Games Week, I'll come back to Sydney and I'll be a part of the South by Southwest Sydney Festival, and I'll be running my round 3 mock video game voice acting auditions workshop. I said workshop, but I meant panel. But that's going to be a lot of fun. It's the first time I have ever run it anywhere. So be sure to come along, have a bit of fun, read a script, and come and meet me and say hi. Yeah, I don't know if characters are just evil for evil's sake. I think just like people, we consider the things that have happened to us, and we can take one of 2 different routes. We can take we are the way we are because of this thing, or we are the way we are in spite of this thing. So in her case, it's probably the former, and it would be interesting to unearth what those specific circumstances were that made her the way that she is. Surely this is the most common response, but it has to be Pokemon. That's the only right answer, isn't it? Pokemon. Voice acting work is filled with NDAs, so it's really rare to be able to talk about your upcoming work that isn't out yet. So I've got one exception at the moment and it's a really cool one. I'm going to be the voice of Terry and Terry in the upcoming game Bubsy 4D, which is really exciting. If you want to follow me on my voiceover adventures, you can find me at Aimee Smith VA. That's AIMEE. Thank you so much for watching this video today.